Hi, my name is Sarah Howe, and I'm a home chef from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I grew up in Winnipeg, moved to Toronto in my early 20s, where I met my husband, and we moved back to Winnipeg a few years ago. I am currently working on finishing my Bachelor of Kinesiology degree, have taken a lot of courses in nutritional science, and am writing the MCAT this summer to apply to med school this year. Cooking has always been a huge part of my life. My mom is an amazing chef, and she sort of just let me follow her around the kitchen from the time that I was really young. So she really taught me how to cook. She doesn't use any recipes. She just kind of knows how to cook everything. And that's how I learned to cook as well. But over the last couple of years, I started posting what I was cooking and making on social media and had people constantly asking me for recipes. And the problem with that was I didn't have any. I had just learned to sort of create whatever I wanted. So over the last few years, I started writing things down. I learned how to measure everything out, and am now in the process of writing my first cookbook. And another fun venture that has come about this year is I've started teaching virtual cooking classes. So I will measure out all of the ingredients, package them really beautifully, and then have them delivered to the attendee and then teach the class online. I've really noticed people having a desire to move more towards a plant-based diet, and primarily that is how we eat in our house. And what that means to me is that our diet primarily consists of vegetables, whole grains, and then some protein. We do eat fish. We're really lucky here in Manitoba that we have access to a lot of local fishermen. So we get a ton of pickerel as well as a couple different kinds of trout and Arctic char. Manitoba is also a primarily farming province. We have farmers that occupy more space than the cities do. And we have incredible farmers markets that run from spring until fall. And as well, we have a couple of really amazing vendors that have created an indoor space that's almost like having a farmers market all year round, where you can find local chicken and eggs and those types of things. So we will enjoy those things on occasion. My primary way of looking at being plant-based or not, some people have very different views on this. The way that I like to think about it is in tiers. So my first priority is health. My second priority is the environment. And then my third priority is any sort of, specific feelings that I might have about things. So for example, I really, really care about my husband and I being really healthy. So number one, we're gonna try and choose things that are gonna align with that. Number two, I really am concerned about the environment. So to me, I think that it's better to eat a local piece of chicken than it is to eat an inorganic piece of tofu that, is contributing to a lot of the environmental issues that we are experiencing. And then number three, for me, I really like cows and pigs. So they're off limits for me. That's just a personal feeling, and everyone can kind of implement whatever they feel about those types of things. But I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork, I don't eat dairy, and that's just a personal preference. The thing that I think is the most important, though, is trying to keep things as local as possible. I think that we have gotten very used to having access to everything all the time. And we don't really think about the fact that most things aren't in season around us. The reality is in Winnipeg and in most parts of Canada, throughout the winter months, nothing's really local unless you're eating maybe some hydroponic greens or, like I said, the proteins that we have access to. So I'm not talking about those months, and I also don't expect anyone to be perfect. I definitely am not. I eat avocados 12 months of the year because it's something that makes me really happy. But in general, I think it's really important to seek out what is in season. So for example, we are in asparagus season in Manitoba right now. So we're eating a lot of asparagus. If you think about the difference in emissions between flying something here and me driving to the farmer's market and the farmer having driven the product to the farmer's market, it's a really big difference. So the more that we can do those kinds of things, the better off everyone's going to be. I personally like to use it as a source of inspiration for what to make. So I'll go to the farmer's market and see what's available and then let those ingredients sort of guide what I'm going to make. Not to mention that I think it's extremely important to support people within our own province and within our own country. And these farmers work tirelessly to produce these products for us. And I really think that we owe it to them to be eating them. I know that eating organic is a little bit more expensive and is not accessible to everyone, but the more that we can implement it into our diets, the better off our entire planet is going to be. There's a reason why local organic products are more expensive, and it's because they're grown in better conditions. I heard a doctor say once that it actually makes really good sense to spend a lot of money on food. Sure, everyone wants to travel and have expensive clothes and all of those nice things, but your food is actually impacting your health. And most of the things that we spend money on, you can actually say that about. Once I heard this, I adjusted our budget. I decided to start spending a little bit more on groceries every month and just to cut back a little bit elsewhere. And it's amazing how much more enjoyable cooking is when you have really beautiful and high quality ingredients to work with. My favorite thing to cook is mussels. I honestly think we have them probably every other week. And you can look this up, but they are honestly one of the most environmentally friendly proteins that you can eat. They aren't technically local, but they are coming from Canada at least. And people think that they're really expensive, and they're really not that bad. These are the kind of changes that I like to make to just elevate things a little bit more, and to choose a protein to add to my primarily plant-based diet that is really good for the planet. Another really important point is to try to purchase imperfect produce. I know we all want that perfect symmetrical red pepper, but when you really get them home and you cut them up and you use them, you can't tell the difference. And it's amazing how much gets wasted because people don't want to buy these products. So that's really one small change that you could make that would really reduce your environmental impact. If you want to try my mussel recipe, I would be happy to share it. You can email me at Sarah Howe Creative, Sarah, SARAH, HOWE Creative at iCloud.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Sar, SAR_Howe. You can find a lot of my recipes on my Instagram page, or if you have any questions or want to learn how to make something in particular, please just send me an email and I'd be happy to help. Thank you so much to everyone for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.